This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean, and Gareth Richards is with us.
Hello.
This morning.
Hi,
hey,
Gareth.
what about that? Have we got a jingle for him? What about this one?
Whatever happens.
Wow.
You can...
Saturday morning!
That is one sick burn, Frank.
You can... yeah, I'm sorry about that. I leaned on the baby bio. Text the show at 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. It's lovely to see you, Gareth, as ever.
Thank you.
I love you.
It's always good to start the show in floods of tears.
Come on. It's good though.
Welcome back.
It's very cleansing.
Yeah.
Gets all the... You know that sleep.
You feel better afterwards, don't you?
Can I say one of my favourite things about the human body is sleep that you're going to
I'm so relieved you said that.
Yeah, well, obviously it's changed over the years. I love the fact that sleep, a very sort of abstract concept, it can be... you can actually hold it. You can hold it in your hands. You know when you pick it out.
You can.
You know when you pick it out the corners of your eyes.
That sort of sleep.
What
I see what you mean, yeah.
But it's all sleep.
Yeah.
I love it. I always things like worry. If you could hold a little bit of worry in your hand, or compassion.
If there was some sort of residue that came from worry that would crust over, and then you could just pick out.
You could remove it from your body.
Yeah.
Or fear. I suppose there is a residue that comes from fear.
Frank
Let it dry, pick it out. That's what you have to...
no, please.
Just so it's FYI, Frank likes to start the show with some of his esoteric stuff. Now.
No, I think it's an interesting... Do I?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I say that I had exactly that shirt?
Oh,
Which
really?
shirt? You're not looking at me,
the
are
shirt
you?
that Gareth's wearing. And why I remember it is a man had my face tattooed on his chest.
He didn't.
And wearing that shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a surprise for you.
And he said, "Oh yeah, there you are, just next to my ex-wife." And and someone told me that I saw this man recently, and he showed them the tattoo, but he's aged quite a bit.
Oh, dear.
And I've sagged somewhat. So it's a bit like, you know, the picture of Dorian Gray, the Oscar one. It's like the tattoo of Dorian Gray. So I'm still boyish in appearance. And my tattoo has fallen into disarray.
A tad saggy.
Yeah.
That's good.
There you go. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? 8, 12, 15. So here's the thing. This I think this will balance things out a bit.
Yes.
Gareth? This will balance... Fine listening is absolutely crucial.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
I've got my undivided attention, I promise.
I was at a charity do at the weekend.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I had put a prize into the auction, which was 4 tickets to see Room 101 recorded.
Oh.
Second prize, 8 tickets.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, don't speak too soon, because all these things were going, and then it got to it, and he said, right, we'll start, and they'd put it last as if it was going to be the big...
Oh, it's the big prize.
Prize of the night.
Who was the auctioneer?
I don't know his name.
Okay. Did he have a moustache and a pocket watch? And a waistcoat?
No, I think he auctioned that.
Oh, okay. They've always got a moustache.
I can't remember if he had... I don't think he had a moustache, no. Anyway, so he said, oh, start for £1,000. Hey, £1,000. Anyone. Come on. Come on. Come on. And then the come on.
Oh.
I don't mind come on from an auctioneer. I don't want, oh, come on. And that's the way. Anyway, it went for £1,000. There was no... He didn't manage to get... Someone he
did.
did.
The starting price.
But how will you watch your own show, though?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll just give them to the homeless.
So that was for 4 tickets.
But how much do they normally go for?
They're free.
Yeah, you see.
I know, but, you know...
Well, I'm going down this week, and I'm sure it's not paying £250.
Don't feel you have to tell us that in advance. And well, they get to go in the green room, and there's soft cheese and free alcohol.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm very grateful to them that bought. But a man then came up to me after, I got to tell you this, and said, to be honest, we thought we'd get a lot more than that.
Oh, no.
And I thought, this can't get any worse. I saw my entire career flash before me. And then, afterwards, I was just saying goodbye to some people, and this guy came over. He said, don't feel too bad about that prize. I thought, please. And this was what he said. He said, a lot of the people here tonight, they weren't living here in the 90s, so they don't know who you are.
Oh, my God.
No!
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in from the outside world.
Okay.
I appreciate I'm giving that something of an over-the-top fanfare, as if we only get one text. But this is from David Kupelian, and he has said, watching the morning news, I've just seen a picture of Frank on a £5 note. Discuss. So that means you're either the Queen...
Well, can I say, we just got that text through during the song, and I actually heard myself saying for the first time in my life, do I look like Churchill?
And I suggested it as a text in.
It's something that's never occurred to me before, the possibility that I look like Churchill.
Do you look like Churchill? I mean, not massively.
What? Well, I don't think particularly look like Churchill.
Is it the new £5 note they're talking about?
Yes, the plastic one.
Okay, because the old one was either the Queen or Elizabeth Fry.
I do look a bit like Elizabeth Fry.
That could be.
Yeah, I've got that pale look of someone who hangs around in prisons.
Yeah.
Oh, you look a bit like the Queen, darling.
Do you think?
Oh, wait, no. This, I think it must be the other one. Who's that? George Stephenson.
Do I look like him?
Well, I think you look more like him than you do Churchill, Elizabeth Fry.
Thank God we've established
Queen.
which currency-based historical figure I look like most.
Yes, okay.
It's got that out. There used to be one with John McEnroe and the Queen. Do you remember that?
He wasn't on a £5 note, was he?
No, you could bend a fiver or something, and you put a bald head on the Queen, or a balding head, and it made her look like John McEnroe. It really did work brilliantly. It really did look like John McEnroe. But I think you'll find that has now gone out of circulation.
Okay.
Like so many jokes. Take, for example, I went out with a mermaid once, fabulous figure, 36, 24 and 3 and 6 a pound. Now, of course, 3 and 6 a pound. It's such a great joke, and it's been lost.
Did you do that one of your Room 101 recordings?
I might do now. Now I know what they're worth. I should say I'm very grateful for the people who bought it, and it was for charity, so it's all good. I myself,
look, £1,000 isn't to be sniffed at.
No.
However, you
wouldn't have said that in the 80s.
How dare you? Okay. That is so accurate. Because, and I tell you that what though, Frank, you do always want it to be higher than the asking price, don't you? With an auction. It's just the embarrassment. It's a social embarrassment.
There is no asking price. But I mean, I paid £600 for a bag. Which sounds like a quote from the first Wayne Rooney scandal. Yeah. But I don't have no idea how much it would actually cost. But you're not buying a
10p
bag.
Usually, if it's a bag for life.
No, it's not one of those bags.
Right.
It was like it was leather. It was. I mean, actually, are you familiar with the make Trussardi?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what it was.
I'm not going to say anything about it.
It's not good news, Frank.
You know what I would say? I would describe it as
Go on.
fine.
Okay.
Fine leather, that's good.
Absolutely fine.
Well, look,
if that's your thing.
Well, I paid £600 for it.
Ooh.
You know, it was very, like, a really good charity.
Did you buy it for a lady?
No, it's a man's bag.
No, it's not.
It says on it.
It might say on it is not a man's bag.
It definitely is. It says on the label.
This is awkward.
It has the word man on the label. Man, oh man. Oh, God.
It's almost like they're protesting too much, Frank.
Anyway,
you bought a lady's bag, £600.
I made it up. I didn't buy a Trussardi bag. I bought a truss. Can you still get a truss? There used to be lots. It used to be a big part of. Hold on a minute. The truss.
Whatever happened to
there used to be lots of jokes in British comedy about
a trust.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to say, because Sarah's
one
looking rich. You know what it is?
there was one concerning a famous director, which we won't go into.
It's a sort of a, the joke was, my uncle owned a trust factory and I've relied on him for support my whole life. It's a sort of garment that you wear if you've got like a hernia or something like that, for men.
Yeah.
I'm just explaining it to Sarah, but I'm explaining it to our younger viewers at the same time.
It's a supportive.
I said viewers,
yes,
I know.
Supportive.
Yes.
Struts are involved.
I wonder what's happened to if you can still get a truss.
I'm sure you can.
So far on 8, 12, 15, we've got Do I Look Like Churchill? And Can You Still Get a Truss?
These are this morning's texting, and from my conversation with the driver this morning.
How did that go?
Do you still need antifreeze? And when's the last time you saw a car with a sign that said running in on it? 8, 12, 15.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
We've had a text in, Frank, about
Another one?
Well, it's about trusses,
Oh, okay.
which is an extraordinary turn of events.
It is.
This is from Kathy Wall in
Oh.
Leamington Spa. Any relation to Max? I'm not sure.
I hope so. Carry on.
Hi, Frank. I'm a pharmacist. And yes, you can still get trusses.
Oh,
They're
good.
very rarely prescribed now, though, mostly for old people who can't have surgery. They're available for men and women.
Oh.
There's elastic band, and then there's the lethal spring type. Hope that helps.
There's a spring.
Well, I'm very intrigued by the lethal spring type.
That's what Zebedee used to wear.
Yes.
On the Magic Round. I'm glad they still exist. I said they were a mainstay. Les Dawson mentioned them every 8 to 10 minutes in his act, I would say.
Right.
That's my trust count of the Les Dawson back catalogue. I suppose with the front catalogue in this respect.
Yeah. And then Gareth was looking at currency, weren't you?
Yes, I mean, I think, was it John Stevenson?
George
Stevenson. I think that's probably who it was, but I'd very dearly like to know what that person meant about who he thought you looked on.
Perhaps he's just sent it in. He's just like he's thrown a firework in the barrel of kittens.
Sabotage. Cochrane. I knew it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We've had
Real
another
the guy.
text, 274. How do you go through life sober?
Very happily, thank you very much.
Okay.
I can't, you see, you don't get the highs, but you don't get the lows. Good night.
Okay. Here's White Snake.
And there'll be more reformed alcoholic advice from Frank Skinner tomorrow night on Radio 4. And now, a book of bedtime. Danny Dyer reads Homer's Iliad.
How much do I want that to exist? Look, my voice cracked. I was with emotion.
So I did Good Morning Britain this week.
Well, I know, I saw it.
Oh, did you see? Who sees it?
I did.
Congratulations
What
for
is
being
it?
on.
I do.
Is it one of
It's
the
breakfast it's ITV's
okay.
breakfast television.
a
Here's-
newsy? Quite news heavy, is it?
No.
Well, you know, it is. It's not just fluffy and light, is it? I mean, par exemple.
I'll tell you who I really like is Susanna Reid. I like her.
Oh yeah.
I find her I find her pleasing to look at in the morning.
Aye. This is the current climate. Yeah. They don't care. They just come out with it.
I mean, it's fine.
And I just think she's got a nice manner. Okay.
She has. I haven't been to her house.
And there's Piers Morgan as well.
Yes.
Wow.
It was, Nigel Farage was on before me. Nigel Farage, I've decided to call him from now on.
Nigel Farage.
Well, no, but the thing is, he's all for the, let's stay as English as we can be. Yeah. And not many salt-of-the-earth English people say garage.
No.
They say garage.
None of your fancy foreign ways.
So Nigel Farage was on before me.
Yes, and guess what Frank said? At one point, Frank said to Piers Morgan, after Nigel Farage had left, well, this is a verse for you, Piers, not being the most unlikable person on the sofa.
Well, I did. I mean, in between those two, I felt like the most loved man in Britain. But,
yeah, you were.
But he was actually quite entertaining, old Piers Morgan.
Yeah?
Because he just goes completely... He doesn't ask the normal... Because I was unplugging something, obviously. I was plugging my Sky Arts programme.
Well, you were plugging it and you got quite angry at one point because they carried on the chat and Piers was asking all sorts of questions about football.
Donald Trump.
A lot of your 90s stuff. And he, at one point, Frank got a bit knocked.
Who are you?
And he got a bit knocked. He said, well, I am here to plug the show.
Well, I had to do the plug.
I'm going to get in trouble. He said that.
I once was plugging that exact same show on Sky Breakfast with Eamon Holmes, and he never got round to asking me about it, to the point where I thought, maybe I'm not on to plug that. We just talked about my tour.
Yeah.
And when I got into the green room after, the PR woman was actually in tears. Because I hadn't mentioned it, and was being consoled by Daniel O'Donnell.
Wow.
I know. It's quite a sight.
That is a really good commitment to your work.
Well, I saw him later on. Because I was doing the rounds.
Who's
I saw
Holmes?
Daniel O'Donnell. On another show, and he said, now, make sure you plug the right thing today. I thought, Daniel, he's a rascal.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Yes, so as I went on to the set at Good Morning Britain, Farage was just leaving, and I had a choice.
Did you see him?
I could walk right past him and we either have the handshake or we don't. But I went the other side of the camera. So we passed within about 7 feet of each other, but I avoided actual...
Okay.
Yeah. Don't want to be shaking hands in front of the camera either.
Well, he gave me his business card once.
Ah.
Okay. Have you called him?
No.
Okay. Look, I don't want to jump on the anti-Farage bandwagon. I don't know him. He might be lovely. But I was wary of him. And also, I don't
think he'd be good for your brand right now. You become a
I don't have a brand.
lovable... Well, you do.
But I've also worked out that even though I was on about 7 feet from him, the whole left side of my body suddenly became very furious about the free movement of labour.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very odd experience. The reason I knew he was there is when I arrived in my dressing room, there was a security guard pacing up and down, but I mean, not in a uniform.
Why?
In a suit.
Was he wearing jewellery?
Yeah, they have that curly bit around the ear.
Yes.
And he was... So Farage was sitting in his dressing room, and he had the door open. He was sitting by the door, and he was talking to this security guard through the gap in the door. Very reminiscent of when someone has to bring you paper to the toilet, and you have to talk round. They have to hand it round the door. I mean, I'm hoping that wasn't happening.
So is that his security, do you think?
It must be, yeah. He must get a full-timer.
Oh.
And who does he talk to on the headset? Is there backup, or is the headset to suggest that there is backup somewhere, but there isn't really backup?
That's a very good question. I imagine maybe there's a driver or something outside.
Oh, who's paying for the security? Well, that's a whole other question.
I don't know the answer to
Text
that.
in on 81250.
Trumpelstiltskin?
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Have you caught up with the old Brexit concept now, Gareth?
I think so.
Yes.
It was a big moment on the show when I asked Gareth about Brexit. He said, I've never heard of it.
It was some time. I think it was the early days of Brexit.
Well, was it? It was about a month before the referendum. Anyway, you've caught up. It was good.
Yeah, no, we all love it now.
But I have fantasised about having a security guard.
Man
like that. Wouldn't it be great? You'd never, wherever you went, if anybody said to you, well, these people weren't living here in the 90s, so that's why they don't know who you are, you could just have them bundled off.
I think it would be worth it just because it would make you look so petite, which is always a plus in my view.
Yeah, and they always look bad in a suit, of
It's
course.
like when I hung out with the world's strongest men briefly. I just felt so lovely and small, and I enjoyed that.
No, I can see the lure of that. I love the idea of saying, Reginald, can I sit on your shoulders for a bit? Oh, all right, get up you go. And then just get out in the street sitting on his back, just tying with his curly bit.
But you know what, Frank? I thought you did really well on that show.
Thank you.
Because...
You're so supportive.
Well, I'm like a truss in that respect.
You are, yes. Elasticated or spring?
Yeah. But you plugged your show, and I was relieved, because there was a tense moment, and I could see the music. You know when the music comes in for Lorraine?
Yes.
And I thought, oh no, the music's coming in, and he's not plugged the show. And that little bit of late aggression, there's a little spurt, and
Yes.
you what you're mentioning.
No, it's very important now. I once saw a clip of Milton Berle, the American comic, and he used to do sketches with various guests. And he had this blonde model-type 50s woman who didn't look like she'd done a lot of acting. She was in a sketch. And you could see he was just about to do his punchline, and she went to speak, coming too early, and his arm went out to stop her. I'm not kidding you. Had the wall of the studio been falling over, he would have held it up long enough to do that punchline. The arm went out. She stopped. She absolutely stopped in her tracks, and then he delivered the punchline, and everything was okay. Comedy.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I think we may have got partly into the answer of the me being on a fiver. Nothing to do with George Stephenson. Turns out I don't look like Churchill.
We're getting closer, aren't we?
You were featured on, or your visage was, this morning on Sky News, and I have evidence of this. I spoke with the Chancellor this morning. I have in my hand not a piece of paper, but a Twitter screen grab. Screen grab.
That's what would happen now. If Hitler was around now, someone would have come back and said, "I've spoke to the German Chancellor. I have in my hand a Twitter screen grab of his reply."
I spoke to the German Chancellor. I have a GIF in my hand.
Yeah.
That's another story. But it is someone appears to have mocked up someone at Sky News. Boffins have been up all night.
Boffins?
Mocking up a £5 note with your face on it, Frank Skinner.
Yes.
No, but we don't know why.
No, we don't know why.
Gareth, rather unfortunately, there's a rather serious news headline caption underneath with the rolling news.
Well, it's always a problem when you're on the news. There's all sorts of other terrible things going on underneath.
Well, there's a big picture of Frank, and then it says there are now no food or medical supplies left.
Yes, exactly. Well, they're just judging from my appearance. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm presuming there was a series of minor celebrities transposed onto fivers in some sort of comic
Who else
sequence.
made it on? Russell Grant, come on.
Russell Grant, I don't think you'd get on a fiver. I think you're going to have to go up to 20 at least.
50.
It's a pity France doesn't have Franks anymore, because that would have been perfect for your
Oh, yes. Yep, thanks. That's still not worked out the Brexit thing. Hasn't even got the euro sorted.
Behind.
I don't want the last word to be behind before we go into the news.
So, please, if you know what that was about on Sky News, we'd like to make an appeal for any information.
Yeah, exactly.
Come forward.
This man was seen on the news,
and
if anyone knows why.
And your names will be obviously handled confidentially.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean, and Gareth Richards is with us this morning. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
I'll have some hot breaking news. We have news on...
Breaking news here on Absolute Radio.
Why Frank was on... Well, it's us reporting something that happened on Sky News.
In case you've just joined us, someone said, I've just seen you on a £5 note on the television. We were confused.
Not something that happens that often.
Frank got a little bit insecure that someone was saying he looked like Winston Churchill.
Yeah, exactly.
Or flattered that he looked like the Queen.
Yeah.
God bless her.
But now have you got the answer now?
Yes. So what they have said is that in Birmingham they're considering having a Birmingham pound, which a system like they've done in Bristol, where it's like a local currency to make sure people spend that money in local shops.
Good idea.
And
two other celebrities were pictured.
Let me guess. Ozzy Osbourne?
Yes.
And
Correct.
Jasper Carrot?
Correct.
Nailed
on
it.
both counts.
Nailed it. It's like the Birmingham Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, that's,
Now, what other Birmingham famous people are there?
Oh, there's plenty of others.
Oh, Cat Deeley and Adrian Childs.
Yeah,
Well, they're not an item. They're two separate individuals.
Breaking news! Cat Deeley and Adrian Childs.
Cat Deeley a big star in America now.
Yeah,
Couldn't
kind
tell
of.
you.
She's had a baby with
12,
Patrick
15.
Kilty.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. So there you go. And people, we've had loads more people, 264, all to do with Birmingham getting its own currency.
Oh, well, that's put my mind at rest. I thought there was I'd been found to be part of some money laundering scam.
If it helps, I think out of that triumvirate, Ozzy Osbourne, Jasper Carrott and yourself, you look the best.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Have you seen the other mock-ups, or do you mean just generally?
Just generally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ozzy would be a good figure to have on it, though.
Mm.
I've never seen anyone on currency in shades. It's about time that taboo was broken.
Particularly with those tiny little Gary Oldman Dracula round shades, which I believe he wears, doesn't he? The purple Dracula shades.
If you had to vote for someone in shades to be on the new Fiver, I have to say, rightly or wrongly, mine would.
Who would you go? Orbison?
No, Carlos the Jackal. Oh man, that picture of Carlos the Jackal, which I've studied many times, when he's
got shades on.
Yeah, he's got like one of those yellowy sort of shades. You know, they had in the 70s. But what always gets me about it is he's got one collar in and one collar out. The Jackal.
Oh.
And as if someone couldn't have said, "Oh, Carlos, come here a minute." There you go. Okay, smile.
And that photo's gone everywhere. Let's face it.
Oh yeah.
Gaddafi wore good shades.
Did
He'd
he?
be a good, Gaddafi mirror shades.
Oh, did he wear the mirror aviators?
Am I imagining that?
Oh, respect.
Maybe that was just when we hung out.
That might be a good text in unexpected places we've seen shades.
Well, if maybe there should be a
Never
special...
seen the Pope in shades, for example.
No?
If the Pope did wear shades, I think he should go for a good old-fashioned Ray-Ban. Keep it simple.
Yeah, do you think?
Keep it simple at Pontifex.
I'd like to see him in those. You know those Elvis ones with the holes in that thing? Because it sort of goes with the white suit. That's what they were designed for originally.
I call those the, thank you very much, shades.
Most surprising person you've seen in shades, 8, 12, 15.
Love it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
So this week I was reading about Wayne Rooney. Because he was, and I need some clarification.
Reading about it. What, in the British Library?
I was reading about. I went to the library.
Thesis. You're not someone else claiming he's the missing link.
No, because he's got into trouble. I'm not entirely.
I think you'll find he's got into a little bit of trouble.
Yes,
got into a little bit of trouble because for gate crashing a wedding at a hotel.
Well,
so was he staying at the hotel?
He was staying at the hotel
because he was training with the England men.
Well, he'd played for... come on, Gareth.
He was training with
England. He played for England
Yes.
against Scotland.
When was that?
It was the aftermath.
The
that
day
was
before.
Last Friday.
Friday, okay.
We were at Coldplay.
Yes. So this was on Saturday night.
Yeah.
He was hanging... I think some of the other team went to a nightclub, but he stayed in the hotel.
Hold on. But surely these are professional athletes we're talking about.
It was a night off.
No, but come on, they're at the top of their game. They can do what they want,
young
these
men.
England boys.
Yes.
There was a wedding going on in the hotel.
Yes.
And I think, to be fair, I don't think he gate crashed. I think he was hanging around.
Well, I think I've had this myself in weddings in hotels. You're in the foyer.
Here we go. The struggle is real, everyone.
Yeah.
People ask me for a selfie. So what?
And somebody says, "Oh, we're having come to the wedding." One bloke said to me, "Come and do a speech." They'd love it. Oh yeah, okay, that sounds great.
Next thing you know, gatecrasher Skinner.
But because I don't drink, I don't go in there. But they always say, "Come on, have a drink in the wedding."
Yeah.
But he's obviously he's gone.
said,
"All right."
Yes, I will do.
I mean, he's gone.
Yes. However, he didn't look like the most reluctant. I mean, the lips were purple with red wine.
So he was. Some people took pictures as selfies.
You know, when the
and
lips
have
go
released those
purple
pictures.
because they've drunk so much red wine, they're purple.
Yes, but you could say that whereas I'm too hoity-toity to go into these weddings, Wayne Rooney, man of the people, has gone in.
And
he's
also,
not too grand to go in there.
Well, it's not that he's too proud. I don't think he's not too sober to go in there.
He was wearing his kit
Yeah, I didn't quite work that out. He had his shirt on.
Like a child at a wedding, where the best item of clothing they've got is a football shirt.
But also,
memorabilia.
But yeah, I mean, it's a bit tricky that as well, because you can't really sort of say, I just want to be left alone.
Well,
You're going down an England shirt.
It reminded me...
with Rooney on the back.
Yeah,
just respect my privacy, please. In an England shirt.
When
do you have football boots?
Me and David Baddiel were at the World Cup in Germany, and I was doing a documentary about learning the banjo. So they flew my banjo teacher over for a lesson.
Wow.
And he was... His world was banjo. He didn't know anything about football. He said, I don't know any of the players. And he said, who's the most famous English player? And we said, Wayne Rooney. And he said, I think he was on my plane, coming over.
Oh.
Wow.
And we said, really? But he's already here. And he said, no, I saw he had his name on his back. And it reminded me of that, but now it doesn't seem such a ridiculous story because Rooney is wandering around with his name on his back.
Does he not have other clothes?
They said he was... Well, the main thing I loved about this was that he started playing the old piano.
Yes.
And an eyewitness account said he was referred to him as mashing the keys.
Yes.
They went on to say, I reckon Elton John can sleep easy.
I doubt that.
Well, I do, because he seems quite a neurotic type.
No, but he's seen some stuff. Blimey.
But I don't think that's what keeps Elton John awake. I don't think he's sitting at home going, oh, what if a footballer was drunken at a wedding, takes to the piano and topples me off of my throne as the greatest living piano player.
No, he told me that nagged at him constantly.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you must have heard that song. What if Carol in the car could play piano like me? I would look a fool. Yeah, I think it's one of his best.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
We've had some lovely pictures of surprising people wearing sunglasses.
Oh, who we got?
The Pope?
Yes.
Oh, the Pope.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got the Pope in the shades.
Yeah, quite sort of...
Not the Elvis ones.
Sort of a bit like Ali G used to wear.
Oh, okay.
A bit
Can't
like that,
really
sort of
remember
like
what.
wrap around.
Yes, you
Is
remember
this the
those,
current
Frank?
Pope, Francis?
No, I think it's one of the previous.
Because Benedict was a bit of a fashion guru.
Was he the one that wore the red Prada
Red
shoes?
Prada slippers, yeah.
Oh, he had me at those.
The Queen? Well, the Queen and Prince Philip, but I think they're watching something in 3D.
Oh, well.
Now, I've had a text from Paul regarding that. Not a text, that makes
Paul?
it sound like he's a personal correspondent.
Paul?
He's one of our readers. He says, royalty in shades, thoughts. Grace Kelly, yes. Prince Andrew, not so much.
Yes. If I saw Prince Andrew in shades, I would assume he was receiving a brown paper envelope that was going to be left behind a cistern in a public toilet.
He looks a bit close protection, doesn't he, Prince Andrew in shades?
He's, yeah, I would, if I suddenly became the chief of police, I would just arrest him and just have a chat. I think there's something going on.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're all different.
And we've got some more hashtag Brum celebs coming in.
Okay.
Neville Chamberlain.
Well, yeah, not actually from the area, but he was the mayor.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, no, he wasn't the mayor. His dad was the mayor. Dad, Joseph
Oh, it's all
Chamberlain
getting
was
a
the
bit
mayor.
tenuous.
Yeah, sorry about that. Joseph Chamberlain, that would be a good one.
Okay.
There's a few... Who else is on the Walk of Fame?
Just trying to
Well,
Noddy
Noddy Holder.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Somebody
Okay.
from the
think. Yeah,
Archers.
the Archers, or just generally the Archers. I'm trying to think.
Okay,
You're having
I'm
to
sick of this
scan
list.
the list.
I'm sick
for-
of this list.
Yes.
And you're from Birmingham.
Yeah, exactly, but, you know.
Meanwhile, over in the Grove Hotel
Yes.
with Wayne Rooney. Now, he was apparently out till 5 a.m.
Okay.
There's a lot of apparently, we should say, flying around with this story. No one seems to know what actually happened. Robbie Savage has come out. And,
Whoa,
well, no, no,
Whoa!
he hasn't.
News exclusive on Absolute Radio.
He has said...
Less savage than we thought.
More Lily. No.
He said curfews are there
different thing.
to be broken.
Oh, that's why curfews are there.
He's come out in
see.
defence of him, and he
He's
says,
just
look,
never lived in a totalitarian regime.
no.
No.
And he's sort of saying, calm down, everyone.
Well,
Is what Roberta Savage is saying.
well, look, I think that Wayne Rooney's entitled to let his hair down. Let's face it, it's let him down in a big way.
Can I ask a question, a delicate question?
Go on.
'Cause he had the work, didn't he?
He's had it done twice, I believe.
Well, it didn't take the first time, did it?
No, it was...
Did he have the sort of Frankenstein monster, which I just know you're familiar with this, every aspect of this character. Did he have the sort of little marks?
Oh, he didn't have the
it?
pepper pot.
Oh, I thought he did.
No, I think when he realised the first go wasn't taken, he went in early.
What did he have the next time? More of an Elton John?
No, I think he had another weave, but this one's held on firm.
Okay, respect.
I mean, I should imagine he's wearing quite a bit off when he leans against urinals at about 3 in the morning with his head on the wall and his hands in his pockets. You know, that
Yes.
sort of drunken urinal thing. But, he's nearing the end of his career. I think, he can have a drink.
Yeah.
Yes, but is he good enough to behave that badly?
Well, no, probably not.
It's a bit like if you're going to be a horrible person, you've got to be really hot.
Yeah,
so
that's
he's
so true.
not. Is he good enough right now? I don't know. You're more familiar with his current form, Frank. Is he good enough to behave that badly?
I think probably not.
Okay.
I mean, one of the things I really liked about it is his club manager, Jose Mourinho, was furious that there was England coaching staff there letting him drink till 5 o'clock in the morning. And what he said was, I remember when I was at school that for example, if you borrowed somebody's pencil, you took more care of that than you did your own pencil. And he's saying that England should have done that with his player, which what a fabulous analogy.
I do that.
Nice.
They've just rubbed that pencil into the dirt. All the rubbers come back chewed off, and when you get that chewing around the top of a pencil and the paint starts to come away.
Yeah.
That's what Rooney's looking like this morning. Poor thing. Which is odd because he plays next to Zlatan Ibrahimovic,
Yes.
who looks like a pencil.
He's an
He
extraordinary
looks
looking
like a
character.
he
Are you
looks like
familiar
a
with him,
robber.
Gareth?
No.
Do Google him.
Yeah, he's right. Because he's next the same width of his head, he looks like a pencil with
He
a rubber
wrote a
on it.
book called I Am Zlatan. I recommend it.
Yes, it's...
I don't really.
Well, it is. It's actually regarded as one of the great sports autobiographies.
But he's unintentionally hilarious.
I think he's confident.
Okay.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
I think one of the worries about the Wayne Rooney thing
Yes.
is that we have a sort of England manager in waiting at the moment in Gareth Southgate.
Yes.
And
Good position for a Gareth.
yes.
Good high-profile Gareth.
What's going to make your name a little more acceptable?
Well, maybe you shouldn't have brought up the Gareth thing, because I think the concern about him is he's a bit wet.
Yeah.
And then he might not be able to handle all these rough men. And so them going out till 5 o'clock in the morning, it's going to make him look like you said.
Guys, could you try and get to bed a bit early, please?
Exactly.
Because we really want to do well with the football.
Don't worry, we'll be back, boss. We'll be back. You just do your jigsaw.
Great.
I think at some point someone would have said sounds. Do you think, yes, I suspect he uses guys to try and get on the level with them. You're
Oh,
right.
What
come
you
on,
do to
guys.
kind of, show you're one of the guys.
Yeah, so I think, I'm not saying that is true, but this has not helped that stereotype of him, the fact they've all just gone out party.
You don't think they fear him? They don't fear his wrath?
They don't seem to fear his...
That's what I often think. I wish people feared me more.
Yeah. Oh, we all think that. Yeah. I mean, I think people...
Frank said he was frightened of me once.
Yeah, I'm terrified of you, obviously.
A little bit frightened of you, but we're talking about when you use physical violence.
Oh, okay.
I
don't
often
do
think
that.
there is the people will only really take good advice if it's seasoned with a little physical violence.
Oh, Frank, come on.
But I just don't have the capacity to dish it out.
Good, I'm very relieved to hear it.
Yeah,
That's why you need a security guy with an earpiece.
That's what I mean.
That's what I mean. There. Just give him a...
What was his name again? I've forgotten. I gave him a name, I think. My
really?
mythical security guy.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Reginald, I think.
Security guards, like, you see, they wear a shade, and yes, I'm going singular, deal with it.
They love shades.
And they shouldn't. It doesn't work. The heads are too large, normally.
Really?
Well, they're a certain physical type, aren't they, the security guard? And the shades are tiny.
Yeah,
Tiny
but
little...
I think they look naked without shades, security guards. They really do need them. Whereas...
Aren't they often in quite dark places, though, where really you need to have your vision...
Oh, they're in dark places, all right.
And if someone hits you, you don't want to be wearing glasses.
No. But when I see the Pope, I don't think, hold on, where's the shades? Whereas if I see a security guy, I think, you know...
Well, the elderly have got to be careful with shades. Because you do look post-operative.
Well, I miss those ones that clip on the top of normal glasses.
React to light rapide.
Yeah,
I know they were all in one.
No, these clipped on, and then you could lift them up like little, like blinkers.
Still get those.
My dad, when he was drunk, thought he could play...
What a lovely anecdote. Gather around the fireside, children.
He thought he could play the piano, because we had a piano. And he would sit at the piano and go, dun, 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 dun. I mean, no, there was almost a tune, is how I would describe it. He was, you know, when you read about these, I think there was a thing this week that an aeroplane and a drone had a near miss over London. That's how I would describe it with my dad and the tune. There was the occasional near miss.
Yes.
But he never quite found one. He had no idea how to play the piano. But he was so confident in drink. I remember we had people round once, one of whom could play the piano. And my dad said, I can play the piano as well. And he sat down, and the bloke was too frightened to point out that there was basically nothing happening on the keyboard. So I think it can be.
Yes.
I seem to remember playing piano in a pub as well when I was drunk. I think maybe it's a thing that...
oh, really?
I'm not suggesting for a second that Wayne Rooney was drunk. But, yeah.
Well, he had purple lips.
You know, you think you can do anything. So,
yes, that's true.
why shouldn't you be able to play the piano?
He said he was finding it hard to stand up.
Yeah.
So he thought, this
sit
isn't
on the
working.
piano.
But
I'll
everyone's
play the
got
piano.
a piece for a piano piece. I crack out Bach's there on a G-string.
Do you? I don't think Wayne Rooney, when I see him, I wonder what his piano piece is. You know, in the old days, as footballers, they'd have just been driving. So let's thank nowadays they play the piano. Yeah. That's progress.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Anyway, we were on about...
Oh, Rooney on the piano.
Rooney on the piano, which I would like to have just heard the sound of it.
Can you imagine?
I can, probably.
But would
Mashing
people
the
have been
keys.
quite sycophantic and said it was great? And
Well, I
said, Maestro, encore Maestro!
I think they would have loved the idea. Maybe there might have been some avant-garde musicians in there who thought he was a genius.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
That would be good if an impresario took him on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's the career change we hadn't seen coming for Wayne
That's
Rooney.
true. I can't think of a single footballer who has made that transition to pianist. I was thinking, because it's
there was, I think,
Really?
Gianfranco Zola played piano.
Yes.
Carry on.
but not as a concert pianist.
No, not as a concert pianist. But then again, I did see David Helfgott in concert. Do you remember him?
No.
Yes.
He was the man
was
that
a film made about
Shine
him.
was about.
Oh, yes.
And he'd had a lot of... I mean, God bless him, he'd had a lot of problems in his life.
Very talented
But they took him on
musician, though.
tour, and I saw him. I think he might have been at the Albert Hall, and he was playing the piano and going whoa, whoa, and stuff like that.
Sounds
And
like you.
People were looking around in amazement, and I thought, you've seen the film, haven't you? You know he's got problems. And there was one great bit when he went, whoa, this is a difficult bit in the middle of the play.
I like him.
Yeah.
I think you two should start doing that at live stand-up gigs.
I have to think, yeah.
Sometimes I do.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the audience do it at mine. This is a difficult bit to sit through.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So Wayne is no Lang Lang. Who is?
No,
Lang Lang.
Are you familiar with the work of Lang Lang?
Yeah.
I've worked with him.
You worked with him?
you?
You haven't worked with Lang Lang.
We were on the One show together.
Wow.
He's a very nice chap, I must say.
Yeah.
I was teaching in the West Midlands on a course for the long-term unemployed. And they had a Christmas
keep it light,
party.
love.
And I had this brilliant idea to take my guitar and do a song for them. And it was terrible. I did Me and Bobby McGee. Do you know that song?
Oh, at least you didn't do Streets of London.
Oh, it was terrible. So I started, and I was a finger picker in those days, so they could hardly hear it. Pick, pick, pick. Busted flat in Baton Rouge and waiting for a train. They heard the word Baton Rouge, thought, we don't know what this means. They just started talking again. And I thought, do I just give up and stop? Or do I carry on playing through the noise? They just talked, and I was... Feeling good was good enough. Oh, man. I look back on it now. A guy said to me that was the death of 1,000 cuts, I remember. And that's what it felt like. Absolutely. Oh.
I've got party tricks.
Oh, hold on, I haven't finished going. Oh! Anyway.
Oh, wait till you hear my party tricks.
I look forward to seeing this. Go on.
Well, you know my party tricks. You've seen them. You're one of my dearest friends. I can do two impressions. One is Adrian Charles, which you've heard.
Yes.
The other is quite obscure. That's the problem. It's the dad in Sylvania Waters, which is an Australian reality soap which was on in about 1987.
Go on, let's hear it. Yeah.
Is there any good reason why the television isn't on?
Well, I mean...
It is good, honestly.
I sense that it's good, you know
honestly,
what I mean?
If anyone was watching that, and it's only from one episode, so if anyone saw that particular episode in about 1987...
So I'd like to make another appeal for anyone who got that impression
What's
that
it called
Emily
again?
just did.
I don't know his name, it was just the dad in Sylvania Waters.
The dad in Sylvania Waters, was that anything like it? 8, 12, 15.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
Frank, you may recall...
Hold on, I have to do my housekeeping.
I do apologise.
This is Frank Skinner.
I'll put the Hoover on.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Gareth Richards. You can take this show on 8, 12, 15. Follow the show on Twitter and Frank on the radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Lovely.
Amen.
Now... I did one of my party pieces earlier.
Yes, this was...
And then we went back on air.
The dad from...
Sylvania Waters.
Sylvania Waters, yes.
And we were hoping someone would be able to confirm that impression.
But 085 has said, re-impressions, Emily's doing herself a disservice. Her David Mitchell turning down a photo request was received in the 085 household to critical acclaim. I might need a bit more time to remember that one, work on that. But I've also... had some other comments which I'm afraid they've pushed some buttons with me. 740. Emily, I didn't know there were any Welsh sitcoms back then. There's another one, Gareth?
Yes, dearest Emily, whilst I cannot comment whether or not your recent impression was good or bad, I feel that it must have been a good deal better than your Arnie impression of last year, which suggested he was a Frenchman.
Yeah.
Keep up the impressions, they will come good.
Now, can I tell you which... That's a trigger for me, because I have a bit of a pet hate, which is when someone's doing an impression and they attempt an accent, and the person listening stops them mid-anecdote and says, "Oh, I didn't know he was from Wales."
Yeah.
And it's always Wales.
Oh, no, sometimes it's, oh, I didn't know he was Indian. That's the other one.
Yes, you get
That's
that.
if you're doing Welsh. Obviously, they can't say the Wales thing then, so they have to say
if
Indian.
it's an Indian accent, they say Welsh, and if it's a Welsh accent, they say Indian.
Yeah.
I just find it... Why does it annoy me so much? I'm going to workshop this on air. I don't know. I find it a bit Route 1. I love our readers, but...
It's very sad. I mean, can I sit here and say I've never said it? I probably have said it.
No, you've never
past.
said it to me.
I might have said it in the past, but I've stopped saying it because obviously I've already said it. But I think it's such a trigger thing that people do it that they don't even think about it. It's like... it's like that.
Just stop doing it.
What does that mean?
Have respect for those
people
brave
just go
enough
clearing
to
their
attempt
throat.
the accent. They're telling an anecdote. Be polite, listen and laugh. Thank you.
Well, I think say anything except, oh, I didn't know he was, and not that thing.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
it's hack, isn't it? It's hack. It's been done. It's not new material. You didn't come up with
But
that.
to be fair,
I'm not attacking these lovely readers.
No, well, you are, but I don't
I'm
know.
not.
I don't
I'm
know.
I'm attacking the fact that people do this without questioning it. And I'm
Yes,
just
let's
considering they
question
question it.
Let's question it. That's the thing.
Thank you.
And don't ever say again it's X2 to Tango.
What I hate is if you compliment someone, you go, "Oh, that was very good today, Frank, the radio show. Frank was very good on the radio. And you say, thanks, I'll pay you later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what about the cheques in the post? Come on, 1973 material. There's no cheques anymore, love.
I know my very worst one is... last time Blah Blah did this, he did it, it was really good. No pressure.
Oh.
No pressure is just...
Oh, what about a then? They add a then on.
Oh, yeah, no pressure.
No pressure then.
But, people have to say something, for goodness sake. And I suppose that you can't argue in their everyday lives. They can say what they damn well like.
Yeah, improv is hard.
They can say what they damn well like, other than for my sins.
Okay.
I won't accept that.
Yes, okay.
In any capacity.
And this is what I like about...
Except if you're in church, Frank.
The great thing about Soviet Russia is you couldn't say what you liked. They had standards.
But did they have a list of cliches you had to avoid?
Yeah, they had quite a list of cliches. For example, any cliches that criticised the government.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
So what's lovely Gareth been up to?
It kind of links a couple of things together. My uncle recently got married.
Okay.
A bit late in the
day. We all wondered what was coming then. Arrested, tarred and feathered, chased out of town like a dog.
So is this numero deux?
Numero deux.
Okay. I love a second wedding. Wife in a white trouser suit, nervous-looking husband, angry teenage children. Bring it on. I'm sure his was nothing like that.
No.
He was... he's a church minister. I haven't seen them for a while, that side of the family, so it was an family event, but also with added pressure because I haven't been to any family events.
Pressure.
Oh, there was pressure.
Oh, sorry.
I haven't really seen them, I would say, since I've been doing comedy. So that did add some pressure.
Is that a coincidence? Or have they just thought, shall we not see Gareth anymore?
I hadn't thought of that, but things do seem to start fitting together.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a wedding, and I thought of a joke, which was a problem. So first we went to a thing at a hotel. It wasn't the actual... They got married in Miami. He's married a Colombian woman.
I see.
Yes.
Oh, a bit Scarface.
She's a lovely lady.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying she isn't. I love the internet. She's a little bit younger than him, I think. Or he's done well for himself, basically. Well,
let's hope so.
And that's a nice thing as a man, isn't it? That he's
done well for himself.
An attractive woman. I mean, he's not bad looking. He's my uncle, so obviously I think he's hot.
Shall I get you a JCB, because the shovel isn't digging the hole quick enough?
What's the age gap?
Oh, no, don't ask
I
that.
don't know. And nobody, you wouldn't ask, but... anyway,
I would. First question.
They're a lovely couple.
First question out the traps.
But there were speeches being made, and when you see other people doing public speaking, you have a little think about what you might say in the situation.
Can I ask, were you invited to the Miami ceremony?
No, I wasn't invited.
So there was a Miami and UK?
Yes.
Okay.
And the proper marriage was in Miami. And this was like
I was once
gathering.
on the beach in Miami at 1:30 in the morning with Mark Foster, the Olympic swimmer.
Really?
Oh, I'm surprised they could tell you apart.
Yeah, I know. I had my top on.
Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't take my top off next to him. He's an Adonis. Anyway, carry on.
And I thought of a joke.
Okay.
Well,
there weren't many jokes
were you meant to do a speech, or you just thought of a joke and thought you'd say it?
No, I didn't. No, you weren't supposed to do... And I wasn't doing a speech, but I just thought, if I was making a speech, there weren't any jokes. No one was doing jokes.
No.
It was a very serious affair. It was like, because he's church minister, it was like, isn't it a wonderful thing that God has done to put these people together? Isn't it wonderful?
Well, I'm sure he's taking credit from the internet.
Isn't it a wonderful thing?
It was not an internet marriage.
Okay.
Can I just say that?
It's
a wonderful...
There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with an internet marriage. Can we make that clear?
Look, we don't know if it's an internet marriage.
It's not an internet marriage.
Okay, it's not an internet marriage.
Definitely not an internet marriage.
There's nothing wrong with an internet marriage.
Well, no, stop being so prejudiced.
People meet on the internet.
Stop being so prejudiced. You're going to get elected for something.
That's how some people meet, is via the social media sites. Sitting at home in the dark. Anyway,
so the joke I thought of was,
Yeah.
What a lovely couple they make.
Well, you're not going to tell me she's Busty, the bride.
What?
She's not Busty, is she, the bride?
No.
Oh, it wasn't.
No,
Thank
that
God.
wasn't the joke.
Thank
that was
God.
the setup.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see, okay.
Yes, that wasn't the joke yet.
Okay.
And it says, either God must be really pleased with him or very angry with her. That was
Because he's either been rewarded for his goodness
And
or
she's
she's
been punished.
It's
Yes.
a good joke.
Yeah.
It's near the knuckle.
You
Even
think
Frank
it's near
Skinner
the
would
knuckle?
do that.
I think it's in the same postcode as the knuckle.
Yes, it is near the knuckle. And
Yeah.
as I thought,
It's a good job you weren't doing
it's a bit near the knuckle.
a speech.
Yes. Unfortunately, when we had the gathering later in their house, what I didn't know is that they have a tradition in their family that basically at the end of the meal, they'll all sit around and everyone has to make a speech and say what they thought of what had just
Oh
happened.
my God, I
Let's-
thought
let's-
absolutely bilious.
Let's leave it there, and we'll come back to this. Is a cliffhanger and a half. Oh. 50, what did he used to say? 50 pence, 5p, 50 pence, 5p. If you don't have the reference, trust me.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
We are on the edge of our seats. It is the wedding dinner, and Gareth must take his turn to speak.
Yes.
I've thought of a joke. We were at a hotel for the first speeches, and then we went back to the house, and I thought, right,
Yes.
so we were in the clear, we were relaxing. They give me a big glass of wine, and then they keep filling up that glass of wine.
I didn't even know you drank at all. Do you drink a bit?
Oh, he likes to drink.
I drink.
You know what he likes?
We've
all
all
had
had
a
a
drink.
drink.
He drinks a vodka drink. He drinks a whiskey drink.
No, I don't drink.
He
I'm
drinks a vodka
not.
drink. He drinks a cider drink.
I'm not a big drinker.
No.
Oh, no,
I mean,
whoa,
which is
whoa.
part of the problem.
Whoa, Frank, calm down. Calm down.
Okay, so anyway, you had a
Yes.
glass of wine.
Yeah, and then we all sit in the conservatory. There's a lot of kids running
I'm
around.
a bit clued, eh?
It's quite stressful family things. You know, people know that for all sorts of reasons.
Kids in the suits
Kids.
dancing to the Beatles.
Yes.
That's what
Dancing
weddings,
to the
that's what
Beatles
weddings are all about.
on being raised up on people's shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
That little dance.
So we all sit down together, and my uncle's going to say a few more words. So I think, okay, more speeches. So he says something, and then his new wife said a few words, and then so as I said, what I didn't know is that generally the tradition is in the house is that everyone says a few words,
Lovely.
and they don't tell you that on the way in.
I think it's a good tradition.
Yeah, well,
Well, if you've prepped.
yeah, if you
What if-
like.
It is kind of amazing, and I'm not Mr. Political Correctness, but it's kind of amazing that you go to weddings and the bride's dad speaks, and then the groom, and then the best man, and then that's the speaking
I agree.
time.
Yeah.
Hold on, whoa! This is 2016.
No, the ladies don't say a word.
Yeah,
Well, there's limited time.
yeah.
What?
They wait till they're married proper.
Then
And
you
then-
can't stop them
And
talking.
then... on they went on again, on again, on again, on again, on. Anyway.
And so they make speeches, and then my uncle says, Gareth, would you like to say a few words? And even in those speeches, I've been thinking, well, I know what I would say if I was going to make a
Yes,
speech.
yeah, we all know what you're going to say.
And then you feel a bit tanked up at that
I'm
point.
feeling a little bit tanked up. And then I am very on the spot. I
Yeah.
was not prepared to make a speech.
Well, you've been
And
planning
so-
it for an hour.
I know, but not really make a speech. And then
Okay.
the problem was...
Did you say that joke or not?
Yeah, I did. I said that joke.
So you
I
stood
said
up.
that joke. I
and said-
I didn't stand up. We weren't standing up, but
You couldn't stand up at that
I was at the piano mashing the keys.
time. Exactly.
Thinking of vodka drinking a whiskey
I
drink.
said, they're a lovely couple. God must be either very pleased with him or very angry with her.
And what happened?
And it got, I would say, a mixture of very uncomfortable laughter and gasps.
Gasp.
You got a gasp. Gasp at a wedding.
My uncle went very red. He's smiling, but
Yeah.
he did go very red.
Fury
And then-
or embarrassment?
I think a mixture.
I love that fury embarrassment cocktail.
And no, but everyone was quite cool about it. And they're like, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Gareth,
guess
the
what?
comedian.
No,
that's,
they weren't.
Also, they love a joke that acknowledges the existence of God.
Yeah, Yeah, it was on message.
How was she with you afterwards?
And then, afterwards, my uncle came up and in a jokey way grabbed me by the lapels and said, "You saying my wife is being punished by being made to marry me?"
Yeah.
In a funny,
jokey way, you're saying?
Quite a firm,
okay,
violent,
I remember when someone threw me out of that moving car in a jokey way once. It was so funny.
Yes.
That grabbing by lapels is never jokey.
No, but he was playing along and enjoying the joke.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't speak any English, so I think it was in the clear.
And no one see us go.
Every cloud.
And I looked. My uncle laughed, but then she looked like, something happened, and no one explained what had happened.
She doesn't speak any English at all.
Quite little. She's learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
My uncle's
Aren't we all, dear?
Spanish.
That'll be the first thing that's explained to her. Almost.
By me, when I call her after this show.
Congratulations. Oh, well, it's a great... I'm glad you actually went for it. That's the trouble with comedies, isn't it? Once it's there, it's a bit like, I didn't know he was French. It's, it's sort of... once it's in your mind, it has to come out. Respect to you, Gareth Richards. Even though you have alienated an enormous section of your family. And can I say, you've compounded it by speaking about it on national radio.
I'm sure they won't be listening. Oh, no.
No, but I'm sending them the pod.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, Gareth, I'm still reeling from the wedding gate.
Yes.
But we must talk, at least briefly this week, about... We've talked a lot about the Donald, or as you call him, Frank.
Trumpelstiltskin.
Lovely. I think it's going to stick, that one.
Well, I don't think it's gone onto the world stage.
It is. I think I heard Trumple thin skin, and it was too complicated. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Anyway, we haven't heard quite so much about Hillary.
Yes,
because history is written by the victors, as we know.
Poor Hillary, as she's known now.
She's taken over from poor Jen. It's poor Jennifer Aniston for so long. Now she's remarried. It's poor Hillary.
I still sense an air of sadness about Jennifer Aniston.
She's all right.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
And she once said, "Turn a page, people." Hillary is gutted. It's not been the best week for her, and she came out and she did a public engagement. But she did say she never wanted to leave the house again. She said there have been a few times this past week when all I wanted to do was just curl up with a good book or our dogs. Nice that they got a mention, respect, and never leave the house again.
You say respect, but I heard that, and she said sometimes I just want to sit and curl up with a good book, and I thought respect, and then she said or our dogs. I thought contempt. So quickly, would you curl up with the dogs? Imagine that all licking your mouth.
And if you're going to never leave the house again, and all you've how much curling up with dogs can you do?
Exactly.
Once you're... That's not
also,
a long-term plan, is it?
She's not going to leave the house again, but of course Bill will be out on his talking to, and what's he going to be curling up with? That's what we want to know.
Well, I think the coolest thing she could do now is take a little selfie of you curled up with a book and make that book the art of the deal. That would be very cool.
That would be good.
What, so that would be the cover of her book?
No, that's Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Deal.
Oh, I see.
You see? Shows she can laugh at herself.
Oh, yes.
Now...
I know, can I say, this is how I felt the night after the 101 tickets auction. I thought I would just curl up and just never go out the house again.
She looked... What I also liked was that you could tell, because she looked a bit post-breakup. Yeah. The hair was a little lank.
Yeah, she had hair like she'd just been swimming.
There was no blow dry.
I think she looked a bit... post-Titanic. Post-breakup, I always think of people making a supreme effort to look great. I mean,
not the first 3 days. Your eyes are puffy, your hair's
really
lank.
I think she might have got more votes if she hadn't worn the makeup, because she looks more like a real person.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was what also the blow dry.
I mean, you're the expert on this. Was she wearing any makeup at all for that speech?
Yes, a great deal.
Was she? She's good. What kind of makeup? Halloween?
Stage makeup for...
I respected her for that, though. I mean, I doubt we'll see Donald Trump out without his makeup in any time.
Well, exactly.
If you
still wears far less than him, may I say.
If you've been working very hard on your hair and you lose to Donald Trump with his hair... I mean,
No.
she's never going to do her hair ever again.
Well, that's
No.
why
What was the point?
I don't mind Donald
What a
Trump.
waste of Elnex.
I think you can justify Donald Trump wearing false tan because he comes with his own canopy. He's never going to
Yes.
get a tan from the sun. But
is the torso of Donald? Is the torso of Donald 100% white? Is everything white, and then it's just
I'd
the
never thought
orange
about his
pumpkin
torso.
head?
Yes.
So it's just the pillows are orange, and the sheets are all white still.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
I would be very surprised if he's got
And he
the
does
all
the
over.
hands. The hands orange, just the extremities.
It doesn't need much, though, for the hands.
Hello, extremities tanning. He does that.
I can't imagine him standing there in his pants getting sprayed.
Oh, I can. I bet he's got a trust.
Hold on. No, it turns out I can imagine it. You know what? It's all right. I thought it'd be horrible, but
He's a 6-footer.
whoa, yeah, yeah.
Really?
He's a 6-footer.
Is he?
Height?
Yeah.
Is that how he won?
Yes, no, he's very tall. I think he's over 6 foot. I think he's 6'2".
All the presidents tend
He's
to be.
one of the tallest.
That's how they do it in
Usually the
America.
tallest man wins.
Barack Obama
Yeah.
was tall, wasn't he?
He just
Oh,
found
I'll say that he's passed away. He's still with
He's
us.
tall.
He's no longer in office.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's taller than Barack Obama.
Can I say he's enough?
He's still. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's holding on. Well, I thought she looked better with less makeup. It's that Madonna thing. I like the fact that she looked more human.
Yeah.
There's a slight element of Chucky about it, but I mean, just sort of now and again.
Right. You said Barack Obama's still in office, and you're correct, technically, but isn't it a bit last days of GMTV? They all go a bit mad. They don't
It's
care.
gone a bit.
Come on.
Yeah, I bet it is. I bet he has I bet he's found the talking clock in London and just left it off the hook.
And he sewed prawns in the curtain hems in the Oval
well,
Office.
Oh man, I bet he got a bucket of water over the door when Donald comes in. Donald. Oh, what?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I went to a celebration of Jonathan Miller's work this week.
One of my parents' friends, thank you.
Oh, yes, and that doesn't surprise me. I was talking to John Sargent and his wife and Robert Peston
Oh, yeah.
in the interval.
Wasn't he on your Room 101 show?
He was.
£1,000 at the auction?
Yes, indeed. So I put it to John Sargent that because they were talking about Trump and Brexit and stuff, and I put it to John Sargent that he actually began the process that has culminated in Brexit and Donald Trump.
Wow.
I think when he was on Strictly, that was when the public first thought, you know what, we don't have to listen to the experts and follow what, and follow what, the sensible thing. We can vote for anybody we like, for any reason we like.
So you said to him that when the public lost all respect for pundits was because of him being on Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah, I said,
Yes.
yeah.
How did that fly?
How did it go well?
You know what, he seemed to go all right with it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is he sort of flattered?
I don't know if flattered was quite the word. He got me by the lapels and said, "You're saying..." No, he didn't. No, he seemed to take it well, but he's a mild-mannered gent. But I think there might be some truth in it.
Interesting.
People just thought, hold on, we can just vote for who we like.
They took back the power.
Yeah, that was it. Sargent began it.
The crossover of reality TV is interesting because now I look at Alan Sugar and he is a total underachieving loser. Like
because he's not president.
He started he's not the leader
he's
of this country.
No, he's done nothing.
What has he done with it?
Hold your high horses. There's time yet.
Yeah,
There's
maybe.
life in the old dog yet.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
I'll tell you, can I ask you this? This is a moral question. Jonathan Miller did an interview, and he's in his 80s now.
He wears a jean sometimes.
He didn't wear a jean that night. He'll always be significant to me because I went to Lab OM and I saw him there. He directed it, and he had jeans on, and I thought, that's it. I'm never wearing jeans again. In an older man, they don't work.
Yeah.
Anyway, much respect to him, and he did an interview and he talked about his career and stuff. So this was going on in between extracts from his operas he's directed. But he forgot some stuff because he's 80-odd. And the audience laughed when he forgot.
Oh, because he forgot.
So there's an interview, it's a filmed interview, he's sitting in his living room, and he said, yes, I remember being very amazed. I was working with an actor, and he was an actor. Right, Rachel, what was the name of that actor? Yes. Laurence Olivier. and it got quite a big laugh. Yeah. But I thought, please, 80-odd. Is this all right?
Yeah.
There was a bit of a dispute after, but I thought, he's an ex-satirist.
Well, exactly.
He'll be fine.
And the magnitude of the name he forgot is surely that's where the comedy is.
That's what's brilliant about it. I mean,
it's not what was the name of that actor. He's the actor.
My memory's getting worse, but I'm hoping I can hold on to Sir Laurence Olivier. But who knows? Don't tell me. I'm still in the process. This is the third day of me trying to remember the name of and don't tell me, of the character who goes into the jungle in Heart of Darkness and who has to, like the evil bloke who's corrupted. He's got one name.
Yes, I know.
Played by Brando in the film, and I'm still working on it. I'm 3 days.
What?
Don't tell me.
No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to say I've got that lovely feeling when I know.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
And it doesn't happen often.
But imagine
because Uncle Frank knows more than me often, but on this occasion, no siree.
No, I can't. I cannot remember it.
I can.
Good.
In Apocalypse Now or in Heart of Darkness?
Well, it's the same character.
Oh, okay.
The book's Heart of Darkness.
All right, student common room.
Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for listening this morning. And if the good Lord spares us and the Kriegster, I'm still trying to remember it. I kept thinking Queeg, which is the name of the captain in the K Mutiny.
You're getting close, but no.
No. Anyway,
I know what it is.
Sure, I know you do. We've established that. The good Lord spares us and the Creeks don't rise. We're back again this time next week. Now get out.
Hear the Frank Skinner Show as it happens. Saturday morning from 8 until 11 on 105.8 FM in London and the South East.